Okay, so Bacha Buddy, yesterday we were doing about conservation of plants and animals, flora and fauna. So what is basically flora and fauna? The entire amount of vegetable and animal life, okay? The entire amount of plant and animal life which is basically available in a place is known as its flora and fauna, okay? Okay, so let's proceed ahead, people. So flora refers to all plant life occurring in an area or time period, especially the naturally occurring indigenous plant life. What do you mean by indigenous plant life, Bacha Buddy? So flora basically refers to the plant life occurring in an area or time period. So whatever plant life, or so why are we referring to time period here? Time period, let's say certain amount of crops. So the plant life is actually dependent on the climate. So let's say during rainy season you will see more of plant life, you know. During the dry season the plant life goes less. Okay, so that is basically what we mean by time period. Area means in a particular area. How much is the plant life? Okay, plant life in an area or time period, especially the naturally occurring. So naturally occurring means what? Nature produces it. In these days, whatever plant life is there, that is produced by men or it is produced by us. Okay, so indigenous plant life. What do you mean by indigenous plant life? That which grows on its own. Okay, so let's say you have seen jungles and you have seen wild growth that grows on its own, indigenous. Okay, so you don't need to spray grass seeds in order to grow them. They grow on their own. The moment the rain starts, the moment there is enough of water, you will see the indigenous plant life. Okay, so flora refers to all plant life occurring in an area or time period, especially the naturally occurring indigenous plant life. So this is basically naturally occurring indigenous plant life. Okay, flora and fauna. So what is fauna? Fauna is all of the animal life of a particular region or type. So entire animal life. Does that include us? Yes, us as well, because we are also animals. We are also falling in the category of animals. So the entire amount of animal life of any particular region or time. So in a place, whatever amount of animal life is available, or in a particular time, whatever amount of animal life is there, that is included in fauna. Especially a typical collection of animals found in a specific time or place. So we have all these types of animals which might be found in a particular time or place, that is called the fauna. Okay, so do we understand what is flora and what is fauna? So flora is basically what? Flora is the entire amount of plant life and fauna is the entire amount of animal life. Okay, are we clear on this one? Okay. One second. Okay, so especially typically a typical collection of animals found in a specific time or place, that is basically flora and fauna. So that is basically called flora and fauna. Okay, now flora and fauna, for example, we will see all types of herbs and all types of shrubs and all. Okay, so let's say this is basically sal tree. This is basically sal tree. It is a wild growth, again teak wood. Very much used in making furnitures and all. So this is flora and fauna, examples of flora. Then we have mango trees, then we have jamun trees. Okay, all these are examples of different types of floras that are found in various places. Okay, then we have silver fern, then we have arjun tree. A lot of medicines are made from arjun tree. आपने सुना रहेगा अर्जुन की छाल ऐसा बोलते हैं ना. So lot of medicines are made from the bark of these types of trees. Okay, so etc. are examples of flora of the Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. Panchmari Biosphere Reserve is basically a biosphere reserve. You are not allowed. What is a reserve basically? What is a sanctuary? Yesterday we had studied. Wildlife sanctuary or wildlife reserve means what? What does it mean? It means
wildlife sanctuary is where endangered species are.
Not necessarily endangered species, but in that, what is the restriction? No poaching is allowed, no hunting is allowed. What else? No agricultural activity is allowed there. Nothing. It will remain as a forest, pure forest. Okay, you can go and visit. You can go and see around, but you cannot do hunting, poaching, or you cannot basically do any other activity out here which is concerned with agriculture and all. Okay, are examples of flora of the Panchmari bioreserve. So these are basically examples of flora. So let's say we have flora and fauna, for example, blue bull, chinkara. This is basically what example of animals. That is basically what animals come in fauna. Okay, so these are certain animal species are found in certain places. Animal species are specific to certain places. Okay, so animals are also known as fauna, and they are specific. They are basically specific to certain places. So these are animals. That is basically fauna. This is basically animals. Fauna. Animals make up the fauna of a place, and they are specific to certain places. Okay, all right. So what do we have? People basically, barking deer is there, sheetal is there. Okay, so barking deer, sheetal, these are found in certain places. Okay, then we have leopard, wild dog, wolf, etc. examples of fauna of Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. So this is basically a biosphere reserve, and all these types of animals and plants, or rather trees, are found here. Okay, so we have special protection forces available here, which will ensure that no hunting or poaching happens in these places. So these species, which are basically different wildlife species and different plant species, they remain preserved without the challenge of being extinct. Okay, so when a species faces a very high risk of extinction in the near future, it is termed as endangered species. So what are endangered species? Endangered species are species which are facing a high risk of extinction, which means that a little more activity against them in terms of hunting, poaching, or maybe cutting down of trees or deforestation, they can be impacted by anything. Okay, it's not necessarily that a particular species is always impacted by hunting. Some species might be impacted by deforestation. Some species might be impacted by excess of industrialization. Some species might be affected by let's say too much of factories getting set up nearby. So this all depends. Okay, so when a species faces a very high risk of extinction, it is termed as endangered species. They call it as endangered species. It can actually become extinct at any point of time. This is known as endangered species. Okay, for example, the blue whale. The blue whale is one of the largest mammals on earth. Okay, largest mammals on earth, but it is facing extinction. So blue whale is basically an endangered species. Okay, we are polluting our sea levels to such an extent that the blue whale, which is one of the most largest creatures found on earth, largest of all mammals, okay, it is on the verge of extinction. Okay, some amount of hunting is responsible for this, and some amount of pollution levels in water, warming up of water, and all these things are basically pollution of water. They are basically causing the blue whale to go. It has been termed as an endangered species. Okay, the giant panda. Okay, they are very किसी ने पांडा के वीडियोस देखे हैं क्या? बहुत मजा आता है देखने में. ठीक है, मैं तो बहुत देखता हूँ. अगर आप कभी भी ऐसे पांडा वीडियोस यूट्यूब में देख रहे होंगे या फेसबुक में, इट्स रियली एंटरटेनिंग. वो बहुत सुस्त होते हैं उन लोग. दे आर वेरी एकदम सुस्त. ठीक है, लेकिन कुछ ना कुछ करते रहते हैं. उनका जो जू होता है और उनका जो जू कीपर होता है वो बड़े एंटरटेनमेंट में रहता है. ठीक है, सो these are basically pandas. They are also on the verge of getting extinct. Okay, endangered species. Then we have snow leopard. This is also a kind of endangered species. Why? Because due to global warming, our snows and glaciers are melting at a faster rate, and that is what is basically causing their extinction. Okay, then we have African wild dog. This is also on the verge of getting extinct. Okay, African wild dog. Okay, then we have basically tiger. Tiger is also becoming extinct. Okay, around the year 1920 in India, we had approximately 50,000 tigers. 50,000 tigers across the entire country India. We had 50,000 tigers, and by the end of 1990, only 1,800 were left. So much of hunting and poaching has happened. Okay, so the government has actually launched a program called the Project Tiger. Project Tiger is basically an attempt made by government in order to increase the number of tigers in India. So there's a lot of things that are there. Tiger hunting is banned, tiger poaching is banned. If anybody is found doing that, they can be sentenced to jail. Okay, so tiger is one of the species which is actually endangered. India happens to be the only country in the world wherein lions and tigers are found. Lions and tigers are found at a place. This is only in India, not even in Africa. Lions and tigers both are found. Okay, so these are some of the endangered species that we have. There, when vulnerable species face a high risk of extinction in the medium term. Vulnerable species are what? Almost extinct. They, अभी इनकी स्थिति जब हम बोलते हैं ना vulnerable, vulnerable मतलब नाजुक, ठीक है, नाजुक हो गई ये स्थिति, ठीक है. Vulnerable means very नाजुक, नाजुक मतलब समझते हैं ना, sensitive, ठीक है. So these species, so much of activities have happened against their habitat, against their life, against their place where they dwell, that they are almost on the verge of extinction. So these are known as vulnerable species. Well, vulnerable species face a high risk of extinction in the medium term. Okay, for example we have, so these are basically, this is known as gaur. Okay, this is basically a type of a wild buffalo. This is known as gaur, and this is also facing extinction. Then lion is also it's a vulnerable species. Okay, then we have sloth bear. आप विश्वास नहीं करेंगे, आपने मदारी देखा है? मदारी क्या होता है? बंदर नचाते हैं ना हम लोग, है ना. अभी तो बैन हो गया है, लेकिन हमारे टाइम पे सो मच ऑफ बेयर्स वर फाउंड इन इंडिया दैट मदारी लोग इसको लेकर घूमते थे, इनसे भाई साहब गेम उन दिखाते थे. अभी तो मिलते ही नहीं, ये अभी एंडेंजर्ड हो गए हैं. हम जब आपकी तरह छोटे थे तो डमरू बजाते हुए मदारी लोग ऐसे इसको लेकर घूमते रहते थे, भालू का खेल दिखाते थे लोग, ठीक है. ये भालू एक्चुअली स्लॉथ बेयर लेकर घूमते थे उन लोग, ठीक है. आज की तारीख में दिस इज गोइंग एज एंडेंजर्ड. ओके, दिस इज गोइंग एज, उन लोग भाई साहब इसको कैप्चर करके इसको ट्रेन कर देते थे, ठीक है. लेकिन अभी इतना ज़्यादा इसका हंटिंग और पोचिंग हुआ है कि इट इज़ नाउ कंसिडर्ड एज अ वल्नरेबल स्पीशी और रादर एन एंडेंजर्ड स्पीशी, ठीक है. सो दीज आर थिंग्स दैट आर हैपनिंग. Okay, so these are, so let's say basically we have a leopard, we have all these are going as vulnerable species. So we have something called as endangered species and we have something called as vulnerable species. After being vulnerable, you move on to the stage of being endangered, and after being endangered, you move on to the state of being extinct. Okay, so vulnerable means just a stage ahead of being termed as endangered. Okay, vulnerable is just a step ahead of being termed as endangered. For example, there was a point of time when cheetahs were found in India, but now there are no cheetahs. Last year, there were some cheetahs that were exported from Africa and released into jungles of India, so that to increase their numbers. Okay, but cheetahs have almost gone extinct from India. So that is how the scenario is. Now we will talk about endemic species. Okay, so we have understood what is endangered species. We have understood what is vulnerable species. Now we'll talk about endemic species. चीता क्यों एक्सटेंट हुआ? क्योंकि हमारे ग्रासलैंड्स खत्म हो गए ना. चीता क्या है? चीता इज समथिंग विच मूव्स वेरी फास्ट. इट विल हंट ऑन थिंग्स विच कैन मूव. So it moves very fast. It is the fastest animal available on earth. So when it runs, it needs to have a plain space, and these plain space are going extinct. They are not enough of grasslands. Wherever we see plain areas, we have converted it into agricultural lands. So plain spaces are not available for their movement. Also, the things that they feed on, they are going extinct. So there are many species that they feed on, but they are going extinct. So obviously cheetah is also going extinct. Leopard is different. Cheetah is different. Leopard is something which doesn't move that fast. It can climb, it can basically hunt, of course, but cheetahs are very fast. Okay, so they are going extinct they have gone extinct in India. Okay, so endemic species. Species is a group of populations which are capable of interbreeding. So there is interbreeding, which means that the breeding happens within them. Okay, so these are basically species. They are capable of interbreeding. This means that the members of a species can reproduce fertile offspring only with the members of their own species and not with the members of other species. कुत्ते का बच्चा कुत्ता ही होगा, इंसान का बच्चा इंसान ही होगा. So interbreeding will happen amongst the species of the same population. Okay, so members of a species have some common characteristics. So they have some common characteristics. So what are endemic species? Endemic species are those species of plants and animals which are found exclusively in a particular area. Okay, so endemic species are, so these are basically found in a particular area. For example, penguins are not found in Africa or India. They are only found in Antarctica, very cold climates. Time क्या है? हाँ, एक तो आधे दिन आते नहीं हो. Okay, so penguin is basically what? What is penguin? Penguin is a bird which can only live in snow. So no matter how much of conditions you provide for a penguin in India, they will not be able to survive because India cannot provide that climate. Neither will Africa be able to provide that climate. हाँ, अगर आपने कोई एक्वेरियम जैसे इंडिया में मतलब बॉम्बे में ही एक एक्वेरियम बनाया गया है, हैव यू एवर गॉन देयर? There is basically an environment that has been created for penguins. Okay, so penguins can survive. So there are species which are actually found in a particular area only. Okay, which are found exclusively in a particular area. They will only be found in a particular area. For example, polar bear. Polar bear is only found in polar regions which are super cold, which are always covered with snow. Let's say camels. Camels are only found mainly in deserts. You will not see camels out here, right? Okay, so endemic species are those species of plants and animals which are found exclusively in a particular area. They are exclusively found in a particular area. To be endemic to a place or area means found only in that part of the world and nowhere else. So found in only that part of the world and nowhere else. Okay, so to be endemic to a place or area means found only in that part of the world and nowhere else. सिर्फ वहीं पाया जाएगा और कहीं नहीं. ठीक है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एंडेमिक स्पीशीज. ओके, दे आर नॉट नेचुरली फाउंड एनीवेयर एल्स. सो देयर आर सर्टेन प्लांट्स, फॉर एग्जांपल यू सी पाइन ट्रीज. These pine trees are like this. Okay, they are only found in snowy areas wherein there is a lot of snow. What happens when the snow falls on this? They basically fall off. Okay, you have seen cactus. Cactus is basically a species which is found only in desert areas. You have seen coconut trees. Coconut trees basically are growing only in coastal areas, mostly coastal areas like Mumbai. Okay, so these are pertaining to a particular place. So these are known as endemic species. They basically belong to a particular place. So these are certain examples of flora. Now we talk about fauna. Let's say penguins, polar bears, camels. They are all pertaining to a certain type of climate, weather and landform. They cannot be found everywhere else. Okay, so these are basically endemic species. Okay, so if there is a severe change in that place in terms of climate, landform, human habitation, whatever, then the endemic species will not survive because they will not be able to adjust, adapt or find themselves somewhere else. They are only pertaining to that particular habitat, and if there is destruction of this habitat, whether naturally or by man-made efforts, then they will not be able to survive. Their story ends there. Okay, so these are known as endemic species. A particular type of animal or plant may be endemic to a zone, a state or a country. It might be found only in a particular zone. So there are, let's say, camels. Camels are found only in the state of Rajasthan, or maybe only in the desert zone. Okay, or maybe only in a certain part of India. Okay, they are not found everywhere. Peacocks are found in a certain place. Okay, they are not scattered everywhere. So these are certain things. A particular type of animal or plant may be endemic to a zone, a state or a country. Okay, the purple frog is endemic to the Western Ghats in India. So this is basically the purple frog, and this is endemic, which means that it is only found in Western Ghats. You know where is Western Ghats? भाई साहब, आपको जो बरसात मिल रही है ना, वो वेस्टर्न घाट्स की बदवा से मिल रही है. वेस्टर्न घाट्स लोग है बोल के ही वो क्रॉस नहीं कर पा रहे बादल. And the entire rainfall is happening around Mumbai. The entire amount of rain that you are receiving, इतना अगर रेन नहीं होगा भाई साहब, आपको पानी नहीं मिलेगा. ठीक है, you will not be able to get water. So आपने देखा ही रहेगा कि बरसात के पहले कैसे वाटर कट्स चालू होते हैं, पानी बंद होना चालू होता है ना. So the amount of water that we are receiving as rainfall is primarily due to the Western Ghats. Okay, so Western Ghats को यूनेस्को ने एक हेरिटेज साइट डिक्लेयर किया हुआ है. नेचुरल हेरिटेज है, इस पे आप कोई भी कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं कर सकते हैं. दीज आर बेसिकली नेचुरल हेरिटेजेस. ठीक है, हिमालयज इज अ नेचुरल हेरिटेज, वेस्टर्न घाट्स इज अ नेचुरल हेरिटेज एज वेल. ओके ओके, सो पर्पल फ्रॉग इज एंडेमिक, सो दिस इज ओनली फाउंड इन वेस्टर्न घाट्स. सिल्वर फर्न है ये भाई साहब, इज एंडेमिक टू न्यूजीलैंड. ये न्यूजीलैंड में ही पाया जाता है. ठीक है, दिस इज बेसिकली द सिल्वर फर्न एंड दिस इज फाउंड ओनली इन न्यूजीलैंड. न्यूजीलैंड इज बेसिकली अ कंट्री. Okay, sal tree and mango tree, sal and wild mango are endemic flora in the Panchmari Biosphere Reserve. So sal tree is like this, ठीक है, and this is mango trees. So these are endemic flora. They are only found there. Okay, they are only found there. So bison, Indian giant squirrel and flying squirrel are endemic fauna of this area. So if you look at it, this is the Indian giant squirrel, okay, this is the flying squirrel, and this is the bison. These are endemic fauna of this area. Panchmari bioreserve. Okay, so these are basically endemic. Clear? Just one moment, people. Okay, so this is basically the Indian giant squirrel, this is the flying squirrel, this is the bison. Okay, they are again endemic fauna of this area. In this biosphere, they are only found in this biosphere. Okay, the destruction of their habitat. So there are a lot of reasons because of which the habitat of a particular endemic species might get destroyed. So one of the reasons for destruction is basically wildfire, and sometimes it is wild and sometimes it is created by human beings. ओके क्योंकि देखिए आग कैसे लगी, इसका क्या इन्वेस्टिगेशन करेंगे आप? हमको वैसा फ्लैट लैंड चाहिए था, हमने आग लगा दिया. हमको गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि भाई यहाँ पे यू कैन नॉट डू एग्रीकल्चर एंड ऑल. सो व्हाट डू पीपल डू? दे जनरली light up a fire and then the entire forest burns. If this happens, then obviously the species will be the most impacted. Okay, so the destruction of their habitat, this can happen due to forest fires, increasing population. So obviously the human population is increasing, and if the human population is increasing, it needs more of housing. Okay, it needs more of availability of resources and so on and so forth. So when the human population is increasing, obviously this is one of the reasons why the species will go extinct. One of the reasons why the species will go extinct. So human population is causing a problem. Then increasing population and introduction of new species. Sometimes new species are introduced. Okay, now let's say there was a study in which wolves were introduced in a particular place and the entire place transformed. Okay, so if a new species introduced in a particular place, in a particular place, then the entire thing can be transformed. ठीक है, वो क्या खाता है, किसके कौन उसके prey हैं, इन सब चीज़ों पे depend करता है. So if a new species all of a sudden is introduced in a particular space, it will impact the others. Okay, so these are things. The destruction of their habitat, increasing population, and introduction of new species may affect the natural habitat of endemic species and endanger their क्या हुआ? अरे भाई अगर देखो समझ लो कोई जंगल है, ठीक है, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे डियर्स हैं, ठीक है, यहाँ पे टाइगर भी है, यहाँ पे भाई साहब लायन भी है. सो जब चल रहा है एक बैलेंस मेंटेन है, अचानक भयानक भी मैंने यहाँ पे 10 टाइगर्स छोड़ दिए, तो अभी क्या होगा? देन व्हाट विल हैपन? डियर्स विल गो एक्सटिंक्ट, राइट? सो फॉरेस्ट लाइफ में भी ना बहुत सारा कुछ मैनेज करना पड़ता है. पूरे एरिया के इकोसिस्टम को पहले समझना पड़ेगा. It is easy to bring in species from one place and put it there, but will it be feasible? That is something that you have to decide. आपको बहुत कैलकुलेटिव होना पड़ेगा कि हमने कोई नया स्पीशीज तो डाल दिया, बट with the introduction of that new species, are others going to be endangered, or others going to become vulnerable, or others going to become endemic? This is something that you have to basically watch out for. So एक forest था जिसमें 2 टाइगर और 2 लायन थे और कुछ लेट्स से 50 60 या 100 डियर्स थे. आपने अचानक में इसमें 10 अरे यहाँ पे टाइगर का पॉपुलेशन बहुत कम है, लायन का पॉपुलेशन बहुत कम है, 10 टाइगर और डाल देते हैं. हमने भाई साहब कहीं और से 10 टाइगर पकड़ के लाया और इसमें छोड़ दिया. What will happen? The entire ecological balance will go for a toss, okay, because you have introduced new species, okay. So at times, see, the solution is not bringing in new species, okay. You have to understand the balance first, कि आपको इन सारे species को इनके resources available हैं क्या, okay. आपके अगर 100 deers हैं, they will not be enough for 10 lions, they will finish it off in a month, okay. So you will have to then increase the deer population first and then think about introducing tigers there. So that is how calculative you have to be in your approach. So if a particular species is going extinct in a place, the solution is not that you bring in a new species out there, okay. It is not always the solution. You have to think why the species are going extinct, what are the factors which are actually responsible. You need to control those factors first, okay, then talk about introduction of a new species, okay. So it is always not feasible to cover up the population by introducing a new species. ऐसा हमेशा नहीं होगा भाई साहब, आपका उल्टा भी बैठ सकता है, ठीक है, ओके. सो इंक्रीजिंग पॉपुलेशन, इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ न्यू स्पीशीज मे अफेक्ट द नेचुरल हैबिटेट ऑफ द एंडेमिक स्पीशीज. आपने देखा है whenever there is a dog which comes into a colony from a different colony, all dogs start barking and shouting at him. Have you seen this? क्यों ऐसा होता है? किसी दूसरे कॉलोनी का डॉग अगर आपके कॉलोनी में चला आया, सारे कुत्ते उसके ऊपर पीछे पड़ जाएंगे. क्यों ऐसा क्यों होगा? हाँ, कैसा उनका एरिया मतलब क्या? तो इसका मतलब देखिए, लेट्स से देयर आर 4 or 5 dogs in a place. Now let's say people give rotis or biscuits or whatever, they feed on them, okay. So the food gets distributed amongst these 5 dogs. If a 6th one comes in, then there will be struggle for food. Less of division will happen because they will receive less of food now. More of division is happening. Another dog comes in again, so more of sharing will happen, which will impact. So it's a natural tendency for them to fight. It's not only dogs which fight, it's other species also which fight. If there is an entry of a lion in a clan, the lions will fight. The lions will fight because they are trained that way. Nature has trained them that way. They know that there will be division. We humans adjust, okay. So if somebody comes in your building as a new tenant or maybe a new owner in one of the flats, you will not fight with that person. You know, okay, that there is a place for that. But animals would fight because they rely on nature completely, and the moment the population increases in nature, they face a threat of their food resources, okay. So may affect the natural habitat of endemic species and endanger their existence. This endangers their existence, okay. The destruction of their habitat, increasing population, so this basically endangers their endangers their existence. It occurs when an environment is, so loss of habitat. What is basically loss of habitat? What is first of all habitat? Habitat is basically home, okay. So a home wherein a species is comfortable in terms of the land, in terms of the climate, in terms of other resources like water, vegetation, other prey animals, okay, whatever. It might be a predator, it might be a vegetarian, whatever, but enough of resources are available for it to sustain its life. That is basically called a species, okay. Okay, so whenever you actually destroy, what is a habitat? Wherein a particular species is comfortable in terms of the land form, in terms of the resources available to sustain its life, it is comfortable. But if you happen to destroy it, okay, so altered so much that certain organisms can no longer survive there, certain organisms could no longer survive there, their habitat gets destroyed, okay, so it becomes difficult for their survival, okay, and this could be for all, most of it is due to man-made reasons. Habitat loss may occur due to pollution and destruction of habitat. So there is a lot of pollution that is happening these days, okay, lot of pollution, man-made pollution, and sometimes what happens is destruction of habitat. In order to make way for factories and industries, we are massively deforesting all the forests. The massive deforestation is happening. So that is one reason why the destruction of habitat takes place, okay. So it occurs when living organisms are hunted to the extent that their population is not able to maintain itself. So there are various reasons for hunting. One reason is for their skin, for their tooth, and whatever, their horns. Rhinoceros are hunted for their horns. Elephants are hunted for their tusks, and tigers are hunted for their skin. Okay, so these are various reasons for which poaching happens. So there are numerous reasons because of which poaching happens, and this population is not able to maintain itself. The population is not able to maintain itself even it was initially abundant. So initially there was abundance of population, there were a lot of population, but now they are not able to maintain themselves, okay. For example, passenger pigeons, once numerous across North America, were hunted for food and are now extinct, okay. So America, passenger pigeons, you know what, पहले के ज़माने में कैसे होता था, कबूतर जा जाए, गाना सुना है क्या तुमने, ठीक है, वो बेसिकली है क्या, मतलब इनके पैर में एक वो मैसेज बांध देते थे और इनको बोल देते थे कैसे उड़ना है, कहाँ तक उड़ना है. सो दे यूज टू कैरी दोज लेटर्स और मैसेजेस, किंग्स यूज टू सेंड देम, ओके. सो दीज वर नोन एज पैसेंजर पिजन्स. इनको इतना ज़्यादा हंट किया गया, इनको इतना ज़्यादा खाया गया, ठीक है, फॉर देयर मीट दैट दे हैव नाउ बिकम एक्सटिंक्ट. They were basically found in North America, but they were hunted to such an extent that now they have become extinct. Okay, they have become extinct. So passenger pigeons have become extinct. Colonization, that is introduction of new species, can have a significant impact on the endemic species. All of a sudden, if you happen to introduce a new species, let's say you have not introduced, but let's say nature has introduced. कभी कभी होता है भाई साहब, नेचर में एक स्पीशी ऐसा आ गया, इट कैन एक्चुअली बिकम एंडेमिक, ओके. सो लेट्स से द न्यू स्पीशीज में प्रे ऑन, ऑल दीज आर बेसिकली न्यू स्पीशीज. द मोमेंट देयर इज अ न्यू स्पीशी, इट मे प्रे ऑन और compete for resources with existing species. So prey on means they eat, ठीक है, or they might compete. So this is, let's say, a crocodile eating another crocodile. You see this? This is a crocodile with a different species and it is consuming another crocodile. ठीक है. So this might happen. The new species may prey on मतलब eat, ठीक है, or compete for resources. So resources are limited. The land, water, and all these soil, etc. are resources are limited. The new species may prey on or compete for resources with existing species, and that would be responsible for their going extinct. Are we clear on this one, people? ठीक है. Okay. The living organisms in an ecosystem are often linked together. So ecosystem in any form of ecosystem, all the organisms are linked together. We would not even realize that if one of them goes extinct, it impacts all the others, okay. A frog going extinct will impact all of us, because if the frog goes extinct, then the insects will increase and it will be troublesome for all of us, okay. So these are things that are there. The living organism in an ecosystem are often linked together. This link might be, so let's say a food chain. There is a food chain. For example, grasshoppers feed on grass. How is the grass growing? Grass is growing in the soil because of the energy that it is receiving from the sun, and of course carbon dioxide and all. So you know the photosynthesis process. The frog eats on the grasshopper. So this is basically a food chain. And then the snake consumes the frog. Okay, the snake consumes the frog, and the snake is consumed by the eagle. Okay, okay. And then finally, when the eagle dies, it becomes the microorganisms basically consume it. So it gets decomposed in the soil. ठीक है, it gets decomposed in the soil. Now this soil will again give rise to plants. So this is basically a food web, if you see, food chain rather. Okay, so this is a complete food chain. So these are producers. The primary producers are plants, and this is how the entire food basically travels across a chain. Now, if any one of them goes extinct, will it impact the others? Definitely yes. If this frog goes extinct, how will it impact us? Number of insects will increase, snakes will die. Since snakes are not being consumed by eagles, they will also start dying. So all these species will be impacted. Now, if they are not dying, then the soil will not give you rich resources, okay? Because at the end of the day, all these animals, उधर है, उधर उधर है, हाँ दिखा देना मैं, ठीक है. So these are basically producers or autotrophs. So these are producers and autotrophs. Okay. So primary consumer, this is basically herbivorous. This consumes frog and all. So this is secondary consumer. You understand what is primary consumer? This is basically the secondary consumer. It's a carnivore. Okay. Tertiary consumer, इसको हम apex consumers भी बोलते हैं. This is basically tertiary consumer. Primary consumer because it is relying on the producers. This is called secondary consumer because it is relying on this. This is called the tertiary consumer. Tertiary मतलब third, secondary मतलब second, primary मतलब first. Okay, this is the primary consumer. Thank you. Secondary consumer, this is the tertiary consumer, and this happens to be what? The apex consumer. Apex consumer को कोई और कंज्यूम नहीं करता है, जैसे टाइगर को कोई और नहीं खाता है मार के, है ना. टाइगर एपेक्स कंज्यूमर है. एपेक्स मतलब जो टॉप पे रहता है, ठीक है. सो दिस इज बेसिकली द एपेक्स कंज्यूमर, एंड देन इट गेट्स then when it dies, it is absorbed in the soil. The nutrients are absorbed in the soil, which are again, these nutrients are again used by the plants to manufacture their food. So the cycle again repeats itself. The cycle again repeats itself. Okay, are we clear on this one? So these are decomposers. So this link might be the pollination of plants by insects, bats. I mean, look at this. So these are flowers. Okay, on flowers which are attractive in terms of their color and scent, what happens? The insects sit. Now these flowers have got pollen grains. When they happen to sit on another flower, the pollen grains gets transferred and the fertilization happens. And when the fertilization happens, the flowers get converted into fruits. When they get converted into fruits, they are consumed by animals, including us, and the seed is thrown away. This seed becomes the source for the next set of plants or trees. Are we clear? So this is how the chain goes. According to Einstein, if honeybees disappear from the world, human species will go extinct in the next 4 years. The entire human race is going to go extinct. That is the calculation that he has made. Okay, if honeybees for some reasons disappear from the world, human beings are going to go extinct in the next 4 years. Okay, so that is how it happens. The entire cycle happens. Okay, so let's say these are bats. They all go to suck nectar. They get nectar from flowers, and in this process what happens is the pollen grains basically sticks to their feathers or basically sticks to their bodies, and these pollen grains are then transferred to the other flower when they sit on it. Okay, so that is how the pollen transfer takes place. These are known as agents of pollination. These are known as agents of pollination. Okay, so on or the shelter that plants provide for certain animals. So plants actually provide, plants not only basically provide food for animals, but they also provide shelter. How shelter? Because it's home for many animals. Owls, okay, they get their nests. So if you look at it, the monkeys stay on trees. Okay, so snakes, they basically use this habitat. Squirrels use this habitat. Many birds, they make their nests. So they not only, trees are not only providing us with for the animals, they are just not providing food or not just fruits, but they also provide shelter, because that's the place where most of the animals basically stay. Okay, so because of these links, the reduction in the population of one species, the reduction of the affects the populations of the other species. Okay, so the moment there is a reduction in population of one species, the other species will also be impacted. It's very natural. The effect will be carried on from one species to the other. Okay, so the projects and programs concerning nature started by the Indian government, ये बहुत ही important एक वो था जिसको प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर बोला जाता है. ठीक है, नेचर कैंप्स एंड जंगल लॉजेस. ठीक है, सो ये प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर लॉन्च किया गया 1920s में. वी हैड अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 40,000 टाइगर्स, मोर देन 40,000 टाइगर्स all across India. Okay, India was known as the land of tigers, but so much of hunting and uncontrolled poaching happened that this number by 1990 just reduced to a mere 1800. सिर्फ 1800 बचे थे, ठीक है। सो इसीलिए प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर को लॉन्च किया गया। अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस देयर वेर फॉरेस्ट दैट वेर डेडिकेटेड फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ टाइगर्स and no hunting poaching would be allowed in those forests. If somebody attempts to do it, they will be jailed, okay, they will be punishable by law. So the government of India had to intervene in order to protect tigers. Then certain nature camps were introduced, then jungle lodges were introduced. So the government of India, nature camps, which means that if you want to actually enjoy nature and feel nature, you can go ahead and visit these places, but you cannot cause any kind of ecological disturbance out there. आप कचरा नहीं फैला सकते उधर, ठीक है। आप वहाँ पे जाकर सफारी वगैरह अटेंड कर सकते हैं, जंगल सफारी वगैरह, आप टाइगर्स को देख सकते हैं, यू कैन सी देम, यू कैन एंजॉय द व्यू, बट यू कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग मोर देन दैट, ओके। सो दैट इज कॉल्ड नेचर कैंप्स, जंगल लॉजेस एंड सफारीज। जैसे आपका जिम कॉर्बेट जो एक पार्क है, ठीक है, जिम कॉर्बेट पार्क जो आपका उत्तराखंड में है, सो दैट इज प्राइमरी इनटू टाइगर सफारी। बहुत लोग जाते हैं वहाँ पे टाइगर सफारीज करने के लिए। वहाँ पे लॉजेस बनाए गए हैं right in the middle of the jungle, okay, there are lodges where you can stay, you can enjoy nature, okay, but that is the maximum that you can do. You cannot go for hunting or poaching out there, okay. So these are basically certain attempts that were made by the government of India, okay. So these are basically jungle safaris. तो जंगल सफारीज या जंगल कैंप्स ऐसे नेचर कैंप्स होते हैं ताकि लोगों को नेचर के बारे में अवगाह कराया जाए, ठीक है। जस्ट एन एग्जांपल हियर, व्हेन वी वेर ऑफ योर एज एंड वी वेर स्टडिंग, we hardly had any chapters concerning nature or biodiversity, but now I see in your science, in your geography, you have at least 3 to 4 chapters in each and every class, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, you will see these things, okay, because an attempt is made to make you aware by means of education that how important it is to conserve the various species of plants and animals that we have around us, okay. So in our times there's so much of extensive study was not there, maybe a chapter here and there. But now every standard has approximately 2 to 3 chapters in every kind of syllabus and curriculum, be it Maharashtra State Board, any other state board, CBSE, ICSE. So more and more awareness is being spread by these studies in you at a very early age, okay. Okay, so nature camp is again an attempt to do what? What is the attempt of nature camp? Nature camp is basically organized to ensure that you get more and more idea about the nature that is there, okay. So that you get more idea about the nature that is existing. So these are like tree houses that are made in which you can actually relax, okay. You can right in the middle of the jungle, okay. Jim Corbett National Park has so many tree houses, okay. You can actually make yourself available for a week or maybe 2 or 3 days and enjoy amidst of nature, okay. So this is basically nature, how you can enjoy nature. These have been organized to promote wildlife awareness among people. So until unless we get connected to wildlife, we will not get the taste of it, okay. कि भाई कितना सुंदर है, कितना diversity है, we will never understand this. So these have been specifically done to create wildlife awareness. The projects not only help in preserving our natural heritage but also encourage ecotourism, ठीक है। Ecotourism क्या होता है? So there are a lot of types of tourism. Tourism means visiting different places. Now if you are visiting a different place, you got to have a substantial reason for doing so. So one of the reasons is basically ecological reasons. You are trying to go to a different habitat and refresh yourself. रोज वही भाई साहब, वही रास्ते, वही घर, वही लोग, तो इससे लोग बोर हो जाते हैं। तो अगर हम किसी इको टूरिज्म एरिया में जाते हैं जहाँ पे इकोलॉजिकल बैलेंस बहुत अच्छा है, नेचर बहुत अच्छा है, इट रिफ्रेशेस यू, ओके। So the projects not only help in preserving natural heritage but also encourage ecotourism. So all these are basically ecotourism attempts that are made. Encourage ecotourism. So these are basically ecotourism attempts that are being made. Okay. So dodo was a bird that was endemic to the island of Mauritius. ठीक है, ये डोडो एक बर्ड है। आप देखते होंगे वैसे डोडो मतलब वो कुछ फनी है, लेकिन एक्चुअली डोडो मीन्स अ स्पीशी, अ बर्ड, ओके। एंडेमिक मतलब क्या होता है? व्हाट इज एंडेमिक बच्चा बाड़ी? So endemic is pertaining to a particular habitat, pertaining to a particular region, country, or maybe a state. So this was endemic to Mauritius. Mauritius was an island, okay. So a wildlife sanctuary is generally an officially designated territory created by the government, providing protection and suitable living conditions for wild animals. So this entire wildlife, whatever has been declared as a bioreserve or a wildlife sanctuary or a zoo, that is entirely the responsibility of the government to handle it, okay. So a wildlife sanctuary is what? Generally an officially designated territory. officially designated territory created by the government, providing protection and suitable living conditions. So it provides protection and suitable living conditions for wild animals. Okay, a wildlife sanctuary is also called a wildlife refuge. So this is also called a wildlife refuge. Okay, refuge means what? जब आप शरण लेते हैं, ठीक है, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड रिफ्यूज. ओके, तो यहाँ पे एनिमल्स को प्रिजर्व करके रखा जाता है, प्रोटेक्ट करके रखा जाता है, सो दैट दे आर नॉट बीइंग हंटेड फॉर देयर स्किन, टूथ और हॉर्न्स और मे बी टस्क्स. सो दे आर प्रिजर्व्ड देयर. ओके, दे आर प्रॉपर्ली प्रिजर्व्ड देयर. Hunting, killing, poaching or capturing of animals is strictly prohibited in such areas. So any kind of hunting, killing or poaching is strictly prohibited. Okay. So this is basically strictly. That is, let's say black buck. Salman bhai अंदर गए थे इसके लिए, है ना? Because he had tried to hunt black buck, so there was a case that was there on him. Okay. White-eyed buck. Okay. Elephants. Then we have basically golden cat. All these are endangered species. Pink headed duck, घड़ियाल बोलते हैं, ठीक है. घड़ियाल क्यों बोलते हैं? क्योंकि इसका जो दे आर वेरी फ्रिस्की. जनरली क्रोकोडाइल्स आर वेरी स्लो, सुस्त पड़े रहते हैं ऐसे, लेकिन ये बहुत फ्रिस्की होता है, ये एक जगह रहता नहीं है, जब जब मूव करता है, ठीक है. सो घड़ियाल इज बेसिकली फाउंड इन गंगा और यमुना में पाया जाता है ये, ठीक है, उत्तराखंड के एरियाज में पाया जाता है. ऑलमोस्ट क्रोकोडाइल की तरह है, लेकिन बहुत फ्रिस्की होता है. इनका जो ये मुंह होता है ना, इसका थोड़ा घड़े की तरह शेप होता है, तो इसीलिए इसका नाम घड़ियाल पड़ा है, ठीक है. सो दीज आर घड़ियाल्स. बहुत डेंजरस हैं. डेंजरस है मतलब ये देखिए, ये क्रोकोडाइल है बेसिकली. दिस इज बेसिकली अ क्रोकोडाइल. ये बहुत बड़ा सा होता है, बहुत भारी भरकम होता है, बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथ होता है, लेकिन घड़ियाल्स आर वेरी फ्रिस्की, ज़्यादा बड़े नहीं होते वो, ठीक है. ओके, दिस इज बेसिकली अ वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरी. तो मार्श क्रोकोडाइल, ठीक है. देन वी हैव बेसिकली स्नेक्स, ठीक है, पाइथन जिसको हम बोलते हैं, अजगर जिसको हम बोलते हैं, ठीक है. देन वी हैव राइनोस. ओके, सो आर प्रोटेक्टेड एंड प्रिजर्व्ड इन आवर वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरीज. तो गवर्नमेंट ने ये व्यवस्था की है कि इन सारे स्पीशीज को हम प्रोटेक्ट करें. तो जितने भी वाइल्ड लाइफ सैंक्चुरीज सेटअप हुए हैं, द पर्पस इज टू प्रिजर्व वन ऑफ द स्पीशीज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल काजीरंगा जो नेशनल पार्क है, उसमें राइनोसोर्स को प्रिजर्व करने की व्यवस्था की गई है, ठीक है. सो दीज आर बेसिकली सर्टेन स्पीशीज दैट हैव बीन फाउंड टू बी एंडेमिक टू इंडिया in various regions of India, and wildlife sanctuaries have been set up in order to protect and preserve them. Okay, so these are certain attempts made by the government. Indian sanctuaries have unique landscapes like broad level forest. So these are broad level forests. Okay, ब्रॉड लेवल फॉरेस्ट. इंडियन सैंक्चुरीज हैव यूज्ड माउंटेन फॉरेस्ट ऐसे, ठीक है. एक होता है ब्रॉड लेवल फॉरेस्ट जो मतलब प्लेन फॉरेस्ट होता है, और दूसरा होता है वैसा माउंटेनियस एरियाज में फॉरेस्ट, ठीक है. इंडियन सैंक्चुरीज देन हैव बुश लैंड्स इन डेल्टाज ऑफ बिग रिवर्स. सो दीज आर बेसिकली बुश लैंड्स. ओके, ऐसा देखिए बुश लैंड है, ये आपके डेल्टाज हैं. डेल्टाज मतलब बहुत सारे रिवर्स यहाँ से फ्लो हो रहे हैं. सो दीज आर नोन एज बुश, मतलब समझते हो झाड़ी होना, ठीक है. सो दीज आर नोन एज बुश लैंड्स. बुश लैंड्स मतलब झाड़ियों का जगह, ठीक है. सो दीज आर बुश लैंड. इनको पहचानते हैं? Okay, so there are about 440 wildlife sanctuaries in India. दो महीने बाद. There are about 440 wildlife sanctuaries in India. So many wildlife sanctuaries are there in India to preserve different species. For example, Jayakawadi Bird Sanctuary is situated in Aurangabad and Ahmednagar district in Marathwada region of Maharashtra. So there are so many birds that are found there. आपने देखा रहेगा बेलापुर में इसके बहुत सारे फोटोज हैं, देखो, ठीक है. सो दीज आर बेसिकली फ्लैमिंगोज. बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे हमारे नवी मुंबई में पहले फ्लैमिंगोज आते थे माइग्रेशन में, ठीक है. दे यूज टू कम फॉर अ सर्टन सीजन. नाउ अभी ये धीरे धीरे कम होता जा रहा है, ठीक है. सो दीज आर बेसिकली डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ बर्ड्स. Ahmednagar district in Marathwada region of Maharashtra. Okay, so for example, Gahir Matho Turtle Sanctuary in Odisha. So this is basically a turtle sanctuary. यहाँ पे आप नहीं जा सकते, ठीक है. ये एक turtle sanctuary है और यहाँ पे turtles के breeding के लिए हमने space provide करके रखा है. It is a pity that even protected forests are not safe because people living in the neighborhood encroach upon them and destroy them. ठीक है, जो protected forest होते हैं वो भी safe नहीं है animals के लिए, क्योंकि लोग जो है वो इन जगहों पे जाते हैं. पीपल लिविंग इन नियर बाई एरियाज, आदिवासीज और पीपल हु वर वंस वेरी मच डिपेंडेंट ऑन द जंगल, दे मूव ऑन टू दीज एरियाज, दे इन्फिल्ट्रेट इन दीज एरियाज, दे कट लॉग्स ऑफ वुड, दे माइट बी हंटिंग, दे माइट बी गोइंग फॉर सो लेट्स से सुंदरबंस. in West Bengal is one of the primary destination for Royal Bengal tigers. Royal Bengal tiger is the national animal of India. It's 6 feet long, very huge, and it has a very unique characteristic of almost being an amphibian. It stays in water and land alike. Okay, so khadi area hai. So during honey, so in order to fetch honey, there are boats that go into these swampy areas. So if they happen to see a tiger, they hunt it. Okay, so these are things that are happening. So in spite of government making, see, government cannot fight with everyone, because the people who are actually belonging to these places are native. They know better where to get it from. Okay, भाई देखो, पार्क बना दिया, सैंक्चुरी बना दिया, गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ गार्ड्स लगा दिए, लेकिन ये जो यहाँ के लोग हैं, इनको मालूम है कहाँ से निकलना है, कहाँ से घुसना है सैंक्चुरी में और कहाँ से क्या हंटिंग करनी है, बिकॉज दे हैव बीन स्टेइंग इन दीज प्लेसेस फॉर मेनी ईयर्स. So they have a better idea of the entire area rather than government. They have a better idea about this entire area. Okay, so they basically encroach upon these places, and then again hunting happens. Friends, you must have visited a zoo a lot of times. Zoo is basically not something that is promoted, because at the end of the day an animal is caged out there. कोई भाईकला जू गया है? ठीक है, अभी भाईकला जू में अगर आप जाएंगे ना, इतनी पॉपुलेशन आपको दिखेगी, और वो टाइगर जो है बस पड़ा ही हुआ है. हाँ भाई देख लो, ठीक है, देख लिया, जाओ. अभी वो बेचारा केज्ड है. इट इज़ नॉट लिविंग इट्स नेचुरल लाइफ. सो हाँ, तो ये जो जूज हैं, इनका एक प्रॉब्लम ये है कि यहाँ पे जो एनिमल्स हैं वो बड़े मायूस हो जाते हैं. दे डू नॉट स्टे इन देयर नेचुरल हैबिटेट, ऑल्दो दे आर गेटिंग देयर फूड एंड ऑल, बट दे आर नॉट हंटिंग, दे आर नॉट लिविंग देयर नेचुरल लाइफ. ओके, so in a zoo, a wildlife sanctuary is the same. So the answer is no. Okay, a zoo is caged, a wildlife sanctuary is open. Okay, so a tiger living in a wildlife sanctuary is open to hunt. Okay, a tiger living in a zoo is actually caged. Okay, so there's a lot of difference. No, so zoos are places where some animals are protected in artificial habitats. So these are artificial habitats for public view. Public comes and visits these places and takes a look at them, and these are artificial habitats. These are not their natural habitats. So you will not get that natural flow in them. Okay, so that is one thing that is there in zoos. Okay, a national park is a reserve of land usually declared or owned by a national government, protected from most human development and pollution. Sorry. So national park is a reserve of land usually declared and owned by national government. So it is basically declared and owned by the national government, protected from most human development and pollution. All types of human development and pollution, it is actually protected. National parks are protected areas. So these are protected areas. Nobody can actually go in. Okay, these are protected areas. National park help in conservation and preservation of endangered species of animals such as fauna, as well as plants, flora, landscape, and historic objects of the area. So these are basically national parks. Okay, and there's tremendous amount of protection that is, okay, so all sorts of plants and animals are well protected. Landscape हो गया भाई साहब, ठीक है, आपके देखिए, अगर this is basically flora and this is basically fauna. Okay, then we have landscapes. So these are also places of national importance. Okay, people go here for ecotourism. And historic importance, जैसे अजंता and Ellora caves. Okay, so this is basically caves. ये rock cut caves हैं, rocks में ये caves बनाए गए हैं. ठीक है, so these are also preserved. Okay, few examples of national parks. Okay, Satpura National Park is the first reserve forest of India. So this is the Satpura National Park. Okay, so you will find the finest Indian teak is found in this forest. Indian teak, teak wood जिससे ज़्यादा करके furnitures बनते हैं. The finest Indian teak is found in this forest. So this is a natural forest. Okay, rock shelters are also found inside these forests. So these were rocks in which ancestors used to live when we had not started to build houses and all. So we used to live in these caves. So these sediments are still there. Okay, they are still there. तो अगर आप देखोगे ये सारे जो imprints हैं, ये हमारे ancestors ने बनाए हैं caves में. So these are basically cave paintings inside this. So these are rock paintings. These are found in these shelters. These are prehistoric evidences of human lives in these jungles. So these are prehistoric, मतलब बहुत पुरातन, जब लोग घरों में नहीं रहते थे, ठीक है, तो ये ऐसे रॉक केव्स में रहते थे, और जब रॉक केव्स में रहते थे तो ऐसे पेंटिंग्स बनाते थे जो आज भी दिखते हैं हमको. ठीक है, द जिम कॉर्बेट नेशनल पार्क, एज आई टोल्ड यू, वाज द फर्स्ट नेशनल पार्क इन इंडिया एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 1935. Okay, so ये जिम कॉर्बेट नेशनल पार्क है. देयर इट वाज प्राइमरली एस्टैब्लिश्ड टू प्रिजर्व टाइगर्स. टाइगर्स को प्रिजर्व करने के लिए प्राइमरली ये स्टैब्लिश हुआ था. ओके, द काजीरंगा नेशनल पार्क हैज 2/3 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड्स ग्रेट वन हॉर्न राइनोसोरस पॉपुलेशन. तो ये वन हॉर्न राइनोसोरस है, ये इंडेंजर्ड है, राइट नाउ इट इज एंडेंजर्ड. ठीक है, इसको एक हॉर्न है और पूरे वर्ल्ड में जितने भी इस तरीके के वन हॉर्न राइनोसोर्स पाए जाते हैं 2/3 ऑफ इट इज अवेलेबल इन काजीरंगा नेशनल पार्क विच इज लोकेटेड इन आसाम. ओके, सो पीपल गो देयर टू विजिट राइनोसोर्स. बांदीपुर नेशनल पार्क BNB is one of the India's best known protected areas, important reserve for the Project Tiger. So tigers are preserved here. Okay, the largest national park is in the northeast Greenland National Park, which was established in 1974. This is out of India. Okay, Greenland में है. Greenland basically एक polar area है. It is high snowfall area. So the largest national park in the world is Northeast Greenland National Park, which was established in 1974. Okay, so what is the red data book? Okay, what is the red data book? The IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, maintains an international list of animals and plants whose continued existence is threatened. तो रेड बुक एक बुक है जहां पे जितने भी स्पीशीज हैं विच आर अबाउट टू गो एक्सटेंट दे आर मेंशन, और जितने एक्सटेंट हो चुके हैं उनका भी रिकॉर्ड है. सो इट एक्चुअली मेंटेन्स अ रिकॉर्ड ऑफ ऑल दोज वल्नरेबल, एंडेंजर्ड और एक्सटिंक्ट स्पीशीज. So as and when an extinct species goes extinct, it is registered in the red book. Okay, you can actually have an online access to this red book. Okay, so the IUCN is what? International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. Okay, maintains an international list of animals and plants whose continued existence is threatened. They continuously maintain this list. Okay, all right, that would be it from my end for today. Thank you so much for your valuable time, Bachcha Badi.